Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Good morning, top of the morning in sunny California. You're listening to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live with nothing but straight talk. That's how we do it around here, folks. Nothing but straight talk. I am so excited today, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes, and you will soon find out why. My co-host is the wonderful, the fabulous Mr. Keith Swanson. We called him the Invisible Man. Women keep calling him, wanted to know, what does Keith look like? You know, every time they go places, they don't see him. They say, I don't believe he exists. He really does exist, ladies and gentlemen. He promised that April 30th, 2022, for Black Writers on Tour, it's going to be a virtual affair. Keith promised me that he's going to be there. He's going to show his face. You will get to see him. And I tell you, so we're waiting for that. Keith, how are you today?
I am doing well. Tell them the NFT in a couple of months will be sold and be up for auction. So the virtual Keith will be up for sale.
Wow, we already have people calling saying they want to, you know, can I get a bid? Can I get a bid? They all want to see Keith. I've never seen anything like that in all of my life. They've been chasing for over a year. Where's Keith? Does he really exist? Folks, he really does exist. So today I am so excited. We have a wonderful show for you today. We're going to talk about a close-up look at how cryptocurrency can close the generational wealth gaps for everyday people. I like that song. I think it's Sly and the Family Stone. We are everyday people. Mm-hmm. Okay, I love that. But you guys, let me tell you something. It's time to stop the economic hemorrhage. Repeat that. It's time to stop the economic hemorrhage in the Black community. We can no longer have our children in the economic basement. We must start them at least on the first floor of the economic house. We cannot leave our children beneath the economic rubbish. So, save your family or else. Ain't nobody else coming for you. No airplane, no bus, no car, not even a bicycle. You're going to have to walk this economic journey for yourself.
What, they take the bicycle, Dr. Rosie?
Not even a bicycle. Maybe you can find some skates, 10 can skates. That's what we used to do in Mississippi. We made toys, you know what I mean? See, now people buy toys. Oh, man, we were so creative. We took a can and we put a string on it. Oh, yeah, we used to walk. Hey, I'm really excited. But today, I am so excited about my guest today. I'm more excited introducing her than I would if I were introducing Michelle Obama or any of the Oprah, any of those. But she's making a different kind of impact across this nation. Everyday people are getting to see her. Everyday people getting to touch her. A lot of the other people, only the elite got a chance to come face to face. None other than Mrs. Naja Roberts. Naja is the CEO and Chief Visionary Officer of the first African-American owned brick and mortar cryptocurrency exchange in the country. Not just in Inglewood, you guys. Back up now. I said in the country, not the county, in the country. called Crypto Blockchain Plug, located in
Okay.
Inglewood.
Okay.
She's a speaker, trainer, and talk show host. And I love what she's doing. I love what she's doing. Good morning, Naja. How are you?
Good morning. I am incredible, Dr. Rosie and the Invisible Man. I am incredible. I am incredible. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
I am so glad. You know, it's the talk of the town. Everybody's talking about Naja. You know, Naja does a show daily right now, right,
Oh,
Naja?
really? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Daily on KBLA.
Yes, that's 1580. That's Tavis Smiley news station here in Southern California, LA Black Talk, you guys. And you're on there what time, Naja?
It is at 1 p.m. Pacific daily, and it's for an hour, so from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
Pacific.
Now
Very
that
good.
is incredible. I am so excited. We're doing so much. You know, it's a paper that comes out, Black Voice, and I saw Keith where a black female open a bank in Detroit.
Okay.
In Detroit, open a bank. I mean, that's incredible. And we have another black female who opened up a major studio just miles away from Tyler Perry's studio in Atlanta.
In Atlanta?
Folks,
Okay.
we doing stuff. We are doing stuff. I am so excited. Yes, and I saw where one mom gave her teenagers 3 homes and $10,000 to start learning about business. Folks, we doing stuff. And Miss Roberts, you right up there with them. You're doing stuff too. So here we're going to take a look at how cryptocurrency can close the generational wealth gap. What really got you into this? How did you get started with this?
Well, thank you, Dr. Rosie. So basically, I was a traditional financial advisor, just really talking to my husband, and I got involved in the financial services industry initially because we really got tired of seeing people standing on the corner trying to raise money for funerals and different things. And so we really started taking a look initially at the life insurance industry. So what we did was we got licensed in the life insurance industry. And, of course, as that kind of grew for us, we started to really recognize that the other vehicles that were out there, such as 401ks, annuities, we started looking into public retirement systems, and we started offering those programs as well. But what happened with me, actually, is I would go into homes of our firefighters. I'm talking about right here in L.A., our firefighters, our sheriffs, our teachers. And we would go to talk to them about their PERS and their STIRS, and they would come out with these handful of statements that had never been opened, that they had rubber band and put in a drawer, just thrown to the back. And I started seeing a recurring theme, and I started wondering, like, what is wrong with not just our community, but every community, that they're leaving their retirement into and putting it into someone else's hands and not inspecting what they're expecting. And as I started to ask questions, I started to find out that these people, these folks that serve us in the public, were really afraid of what their retirement looked like because they weren't quite sure if they were going. Definitely, they knew they wouldn't be able to retire at 65 and a half like some of our forefathers were able to. But I really started looking at that, and what I started doing was actually digging in these different funds. And I started looking and taking a real hard look. And what I realized is no matter what we are doing, and I'm going to say no matter what, for a person going 9 to 5, working day in and day out, putting their money in their 401ks, which I might add were never, ever designed for us to win. I started to really realize that if we didn't do something different than what we've been doing, that our community would not be getting anywhere. But at the time that I got this epiphany, I didn't really have any vehicle that I could actually send someone to. So I'm looking at the 401k, trying to figure out how people could do better, specifically our community could do better. I started looking at, whole life policies and not just whole life, but universal life policies, all types of policies. And at the end of the day, every single product and service that is out there winds up back in the hands of the Federal Reserve banking system. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it over and over again. I'm trying to get our community to understand that that group of bankers that got together in 1913 to create and form the Federal Reserve private corporation that our total economy is beholden to, they are in control of it. And that is the only person or individuals that really win from any of the financial products that and services that are out there today. And so again, at the time, I was really kind of disgruntled with the financial services system because I really didn't see our people winning in whole, in totality. Now, yes, there are some outliers that have millions of dollars and some billionaires in our community, but for the most part, our regular everyday people are not winning. And then when you look at statistics, and I started really honing in on the fact that Emancipation Proclamation was 150 some odd years ago at that time, and black folks in America held less than 1% of the wealth. And to look at the year I was sitting in, and black folks in America still hold less than 1%, it was apparent to me that there is no way on God's green earth that we can continue doing the same thing that we've been doing, expecting different results, because it's just not happening. And so fast forward to 2022, where we sit, black folks in America, again, with all the outliers out there, we still hold less than 1% of the wealth. So we cannot continue on the same path that we've been on this last. I don't care what it is you talk to me about. We've been doing that, and it has not helped close the wealth gap. So now what do we do different? How do we approach this different? And how do we create a change in the mindset so that we can continue to do what we need to do moving forward from now to the next 5 to 10 years, or it's going to be a wrap. So that's what got me into this space.
Wow. I am really excited. I'm really excited. So for people who really don't know anything about cryptocurrency, kind of tell them what we're really talking about and how it works.
So I can really just, for newbies that are listening, so and this is not stock, so I don't want anybody to akin this to stock, but I like to use this analogy because a lot of people understand it. So with stock, you have an asset class called stock. And in there, you may have an Amazon, but you may have a Nike, you may have a Tesla, you may have a Honda. Like, they're all different under this one category. Well, with cryptocurrency, it is a asset class, in my opinion. And there are over 16,000 different cryptocurrencies out there. They are digital, they're digital assets that live online. Some are used for money, some are used for utilities, some are used for, there's all sorts of different things that these cryptocurrencies entail, but they are not all created equal. In fact, there are a lot of them that are specifically designed to extract funds from your bank account. And they've been doing very well with that in the black community.
Wow. That's why I wanted to have you to come on the show, because when we start talking about cryptocurrency, and most people, they get excited, it's like a fad. So they don't know where to go or who to talk to as to which one should I be looking at. All they hear is cryptocurrency, all they hear is coin, and they start putting their money there. That's why I think what you're doing is so important, because our community has been raped over and over with so many different things. So I'm glad to hear you talk about that there are many coins. So what should a person do if they want to do this? Should they just, anybody who come up, they have a lot of multi-level marketing things out there. And what I've really been concerned about, Naja, is people getting into all of this and they don't understand about letting their family know. I'm just wondering how much is going to be lost because they lose their phone, they don't have the authenticator, they don't know. It's some real weird stuff happening out there, Naja.
Absolutely.
Really bring my concern about, will it be passed down generation? Are you telling your family you have it? How do you pass it down? Let's talk about that.
Yes, ma'am. So I guess we'll start first things first. So you are absolutely correct there. And as I stated, there are a lot of programs and there are a lot of coins and tokens that have been put in place to extract black dollars. And they know that we don't know, and so they do what they've always done, and that is to really advertise, put individuals in the media that we know and love, our entertainers and our basketball, football, rappers. They put those individuals up front because they know that's who we listen to for financial advice or whatever else, and really that's the sad part of it. But what I will say is that there are some network marketing companies out there, and I'm not saying all of them are bad. So if you're involved in one of them, you're going to have to do your due diligence. But there are several network marketing companies. If they are bringing you into their fold to take your Bitcoin, to turn it into their coin, and then telling you that their coin is going to grow and their coin is going to do this, their coin is marked to do this, I know for a fact those are scammy. And unfortunately, I do agree with you that we've got to protect our community. And consumer protection, in my opinion, is all about education. And that is why I am screaming from the hilltops, crying. I'm the town crier to make sure that our community is understanding the fundamentals first before you get off into all these other things. It is definitely a need for us to get the foundational education. But what I do know is that most of our community right now is coming into this cryptocurrency space via the NFT market, non-fungible tokens. So most of our folks, including, folks that I've interviewed and dealt with like Russell Simmons and I mean, I can go on with the litany of our superstars. They're all coming into this space through the NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which is a token, not an actual coin, but I won't get into that. But what I also understand is that they're bringing a whole slew of our community that has no real understanding of what an NFT, a non-fungible token, is. And I am going to say that NFTs, in my opinion, are exactly and I liken this to your grandmother that had all that crystal in her living room growing up. That crystal could not be touched. It could not be, you couldn't even play in the living room because it was valuable to her, right?
Yes.
But when something happened to Big Mama and you got ready to move things out of her house, maybe to even have a yard sale, that resale value was absolutely not there. And I'm not saying this is the case for all NFTs, non-fungible tokens, but we really have to look at the fact that a non-fungible token is a collectible and that there may or may not be a secondary market to sell it, just like Grandma's crystal, because it's valuable to you, but is it valuable to the next person 2, 5, 10, 11 years down the line? Who knows?
Tulip
so
craze.
We got to make sure, yes, that our community is understanding that in cryptocurrency, there are only two ways that you can go with buying a cryptocurrency. You are either buying it for value or you're either buying it for support. So if I support the artist, I buy the NFT because I like his music. I support the artist, I buy the NFT because I like her art. But when we're talking about value, monetary value, somewhere down the line, money is something that anyone is able to accept for goods and service or is willing to accept for goods and services. I would bet my last breath on Bitcoin as opposed to all the other cryptocurrencies that have some sort of value attached to an actual utility. There's a huge difference, and I think that is where our community is missing it. And, we can go down a rabbit hole with that, but I am quite certain because of where I sit, because of what I see, because of legislature, because of what other countries are doing, that Bitcoin specifically is where our community needs to start. It is definitely a store of value, and I can give you case after case after case of folks that came to me and said, honey, I'm on a fixed income, but I want to try this because me leaving this $4,000 in the bank has done absolutely nothing for me. And today, that $4,000 just sitting without trading, without creating taxable events, has offered them an additional $35,000 that maybe now that can give it to grandchild to go to college, because Bitcoin has grown year after year over 200%. Opposed on the opposite side of that, we got folks, and again, no shade on anybody. You can do what you want to do. You're grown. You can get in this space any way you want to get in the space. But a lot of folks come in here thinking that this is a get-rich-quick space and that they can trade in and out of coins at will, and they absolutely can. But there are taxable events that make your trading in and out of these coins less beneficial than buying and holding the asset that is now being earmarked as legal tender in other countries, acceptable around the world, and those that are not accepting it around the world have an ulterior motive, which is the central bank digital currencies that they think are going to come and take over. And so, again, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But there are reasons that countries have began and started to try to ban and push out Bitcoin specifically. So you got to pay attention to what they're having opposition against to understand why we need to be leading the way in purchasing Bitcoin specifically as a store of value, period.
Wow. Now, that's great information, because it's somehow that I notice our community, we get involved with a lot of network marketing, and particularly if there's a person that we know is in it, because most of them, they make money when you come into that group, into their downline, and most people really get in it. Now, what I have discovered, they don't really have circle of influence, so they just in there themselves, because most time they can't even bring other people in. But somebody is making the money. One thing, it's like we the last to get on the right thing. So getting the right information, that's why I wanted you to come on the show, and that's how I wanted people to know this is not just a one time, that you're on KBLA every day. And I'm really grateful for Tavis Smiler for having the insight to allow you to do this. And trust me, that's why we must have our own. Because I don't think there's any other radio show that would have you on there doing this. So that our people
you
get
are
this
absolutely
information.
Correct.
Now, they may
You
let
are
Susan
absolutely
Orwin,
correct.
but not African-American, black, colored, Negro, Naja Roberts. You would not be sitting up there talking about money, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And you mentioned Susie Orman. And so one of the things that she started telling her followers back in 2020, I believe it was 2020, might have been 2021, is that they need to start stacking at least $100 worth of Bitcoin a month. And when she came out and said that, if you know anything about Susie Orman, you will know that she would definitely not be the one that I would have thought had said that, because she and I had opposing thoughts when I was in the financial services, because she wanted people to buy term and invest the difference. And I thought that works for some communities, but definitely not ours. And I think with each demographic of folks, there's a different way that we've got to do things. Some things work for some folks, and I'm not saying life insurance does not work. It absolutely does. But for some communities, it just works better. And so, some tactics and some ways that we need to approach this, it works better. And I think because our folks are always looking for, and I'm not putting a blanket on everybody, but most of our folks are looking to get rich quick. When they hear crypto and they get involved in these network marketing companies, yes, there are some folks making some bang-up money. And they allow them to make that bang-up money because they know in our community that word of mouth spreads better than anything else that could happen. So if they allow a certain amount of people to make money, maybe even for a year, they're able to get tens of thousands of more of us, and then the rug gets pulled, and those tens of thousands are left holding the bag. And it was like, oh, well, they know that we're gamblers. I'll say it that way. And that if we lose something, we're really not going to bark up too many SEC trees. We're not going to do too much complaining. We're just going to suck it up because we've been losing all this time. Well, I am here to serve notice to our community. We don't have to be losing anything anymore. Bitcoin is something that you can do for yourself, by yourself, without any third party holding it for you, helping you trade it. And again, I'm not saying that trading, there's anything wrong with it, But we got to look at what trading actually does in the Bitcoin space specifically. I'm not talking about any other coin because it is absolutely volatile.
It is.
And volatility does not allow for a regular, everyday mother who's going to work to pay attention to the market.
Oh, no, it does not.
Does not. So when we're looking at trading for a regular, everyday person, the best advice is to buy it and hold it and allow it to do what it's been doing, which is 200%, which doesn't give you any taxable liabilities until you get ready to sell it. But what we're doing is setting ourselves up where we don't ever have to sell it because we're putting mechanisms in place that if the transmission goes out, if your roof falls in, if something happens, you can take a loan out against that Bitcoin because it is an asset, and you can come back and get it. And if you cannot come back and get it, we will help work with you to make sure that it stays still inside of your family, and to Dr. Rosie's point, that is stored properly so that you don't lose it, so that if, God forbid, you have an untimely death, that your family knows how to go back and reconciliate it. And the only way we can do this is not online. That's why we're not pushing to be online with this thing. We're pushing to be in every inner city community across the United States. And hence the reason we're pushing right now to open up 41 locations across this U.S.
Wow, I love it. I hope people listen and really taking note. Let me give the telephone number out. The number is 310-928-7733. You can call us here at 310-928-7733. And Naja, you're so right. Times have changed, and we have to move with the times. I remember when people were talking about, get term insurance and invest it different. But and people would say, oh, yeah, that's all I need because by the time my child get 25, they'll be out of college. They'll have their own house. I won't need any insurance. Well, hey, where are they? Most of them at home, finished college, have a school loan, can't get a job in the field they're in. But nobody told us that. Nobody gave us a pre-warning because nobody knew that this was going to happen. Nobody knew that the rent would be so high that the average person's Social Security could not pay it. So we have to move with the time and do not get stuck in the old ways, what Mama did, what Mama had term. Yeah, because when you get 65 and you find out that your policy now going to be $400 a month, your Social Security is on the $800, I'm just throwing that out there, you guys. I'll go into that deeper at a later date. What I'm really saying is watch the times and pay attention. And I think we have a caller here. Let's take a caller at 661-213-661. Go ahead, callers. Give us your name, where you're calling from, and what's your take on the topic. Caller, go ahead. Keith, do you see the caller? Hello?
We have three of them, but they're not saying anything, though.
Okay, maybe they're just listening. If you're listening, you can make a comment, unmute, and you can make a comment. So, Naja and Keith, what's your take on the comment I just made?
Well, the thing is that, like she says, the swings on this stuff is so vicious that, yeah, if you're not going to sit down and study this, you're not going to sit down and follow this. Yeah, it's best to buy and hold it, and it's best to find somebody that you can trust to keep an eye on this. Tell you, especially when to buy, because when to buy it is on Bitcoin is more important than anything else. At certain times, I've told people that it's not time to buy it yet. So.
And I totally agree with him. When to buy it is most important. And that is why we have taken the old thing that we used to do in the traditional, I call it the old money space, called dollar cost averaging, and brought that into this new space. Because if you dollar cost average, and all that entails is you saying, you know what, I have $10 a month I can afford to lose. So let me go ahead and put this $10 a month in the Bitcoin. So I can, and you can, anyone can, go to the Black Wall Street digital wallet, and you can set it up and forget it. And every single month, like clockwork, it will take $10 and buy you some Bitcoin. That allows you to buy when the market is down and when the market is up. But what I do and what I'm showing our listeners how to do is dollar cost average daily. So my way to dollar cost average, because a lot of our folks always say, you know what, I don't have money to invest in Bitcoin. And I will say the same thing I said. I'm not a financial advisor anymore on purpose, but never invest more than you can afford to lose.
True.
I'm going to say that over first. So this is not financial advice. I'm not providing it. But what I have decided to do was forego my tea every morning at Starbucks. Make it at home. That medicine ball they got on that menu, I make it at home now every single day. I don't go to Starbucks, but I invest $6 a day in Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is down, I buy $6 worth. When it's up, I buy $6 worth. And so no matter what, I am taking advantage of all the price swings that Bitcoin has to offer, which actually almost eliminates my volatility. And so anyone can do that. Maybe they have $100 every other Friday. They can set it up for twice a month to take Bitcoin. I will tell you this, for those that do watch the market, that I have a buy order set every Saturday night. And 9 times out of 10 for the last 2 years, I have been able to buy Bitcoin when it drops at least $50 every single time. There's only been one weekend this entire 2 years that buy-sell order did not execute. And that is something else. But I dollar cost average. I'm teaching our community to dollar cost average. And you can absolutely cut back on something. I'm not saying cut out, because I know you can't tell our folks. Don't tell me what to buy and what not to buy.
Cut out.
Well,
cut out. Cut out that
cut it
hair.
out.
Cut out them nails every 2 weeks. And
Right. Well, you can still go get your nails.
Get 14.
Yes. So, but you can still go get your nails done. But instead of adding that extra $6 diamond on that left ring finger, how about you go ahead and spend that $6 and go into the Black Wall Street wallet and buy yourself $6 worth of Bitcoin. Start doing that. You don't have to go without.
And you're not talking about a lot of money. You're just talking about basic things that people can cut. I mean, I wrote a book, Naja, called Getting Out of Debt Made Simple, shows a person how to save $6,000 a year without increasing their income. You'd be surprised at the things you can cut out. You know, if you brought your lunch to work, which would be more healthier for you, look how much money you would save in a week time. Anybody out there can save $100 from your kitchen, okay? You can save $100 a month from your kitchen without sacrifice. So it can
your habits cost $200 to $300 a month.
Yeah, and so what we're also doing, Dr. Rosie, to just really help bring this into perspective, we're not just talking about dollar cost averaging, because we know folks can do that, but what type of other benefits could we give to our community? So one of them is almost like a Craigslist that we have, and we're not going to talk about them. They're not sponsors of my show or your show, but we are making sure that our community has alternatives. So we found like a Craigslist where you can actually list things like old pairs of shoes, grandmama's crystal, whatever it is you want to sell, you can put it on there like a Craigslist, and people pay you in Bitcoin for those items. You can ship it off. You can do whatever you need to do, but your return is Bitcoin. You take that Bitcoin, you put it in your wallet. That's just stuff you're not using. There are so many innovative ways that you can get Bitcoin. You can read articles. They give you Bitcoin to read articles. I'm not even talking about just spending your money. It's just so many things that we can do if we just sit down and really learn, some of the intricacies of how we're acquiring Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is there's a limited number of Bitcoin that will ever be created. And we only have, in my opinion, about 2 years to really get as much Bitcoin as we can under our belt. But then past that, understanding that Bitcoin is going to become scarcer. And if it is a legal tender in certain places, including, I'm just going to say Arizona just put out legislation to make it legal tender. There's like about 6 or 7 states that are on their way to make it legal. There's just so many things happening. But if we just buy it and hold it and watch and see what is happening, I'm not saying that this is a hedge against inflation. I know you hear a whole bunch of people saying it's a hedge against inflation. Inflation is here. I've been saying and screaming. I'm the town crier. We have been in a recession. We are in a camouflage recession. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Our community has been given umpteen billions of dollars, and they did it on purpose because they knew that we were spenders. And they knew if they got that money in our hand legally or illegally, and I'm talking about all kinds of loans and COVID relief and all kinds of stuff that people knew that they could take advantage of, they knew if they got it in our hands, we were going to spend it. And this whole entire country is about to pay for all that money that was printed and all that money that was coming out. But unfortunately, our community, the black and the brown community, is going to suffer the most because they could give a cold day in heck about our community really, really suffering. Yeah, they're talking about kids cannot eat. The kids they're absolutely right that children are not eating because you gave money to parents without them understanding the ramifications of you giving them money into their bank accounts that look like they had extra money to spend on all kinds of other things. And now here it comes tax time, and they done already used that money up.
Yeah. Well, they told them, I heard people say, well, that's why they gave it to us to spur the economy. I'm looking at them like, you have lost your mind. They gave it to us to spend. That's what they want us to go out and spend it. So the economy would get good. I see, yeah, but whose economy? Whose economy is going to get good? You guys are not tapping into it. I think we have a caller. Caller, go ahead and jump in. Okay.
Caller,
you can unmute, but you're absolutely right.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Is your company beneficiary friendly? Because the company that I'm a part of, which I won't name, it appears to be complicated. If something happens to you, for your family to access that money. And that's one of my major concerns.
Yes, ma'am, and that is a fabulous question. And we got a little time, so I'm going to rush through this. So to answer your question, yes, our company specifically is beneficiary friendly because we give your Bitcoin to you specifically from day second. From the second you make the transaction, it becomes yours. We teach you how to be self-sovereign. We do not custody your coin. I'm going to tell you 5 places that I'm begging our community never to buy Bitcoin from because they never give you your Bitcoin, and several of them never allow you to put a beneficiary on their platform. That would be PayPal, Venmo, SoFi, Webull, and Robinhood. That's robbing the hood no matter what you are doing, whether it's stocks or cryptocurrency. Never buy from those 5 platforms. However, these other platforms that you all may be buying from, the likes of Gemini, Coinbase, Kraken, all of those, you've bought Bitcoin, but they are the custodians. They actually hold your Bitcoin just like the bank, because the bank actually can do whatever they want to do with your money once you put it in their hands. And until you come back and get it, they just keep using it over and over and over. And that is exactly what those exchanges are doing. The only difference here is people are able from the inside, and I'm going to say from the inside, and Dr. George Frazier can tell you because we're working on a case with him right now, $18,000 of his Bitcoin is missing from Crypto.com. Okay. That was an inside job. And so what we need to understand that as long as you allow these other people to hold on to your benefits, and I don't know why anybody is really, really surprised by that, when the buildings burned down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we couldn't provide our bank books, we never got that money back out of the bank. We never got any insurance policies paid out because we couldn't prove we had those insurance policies because our stuff got burned and whatever. So it's no surprise. History has told us that we need to be self-sovereign. The only difference is back then and 12 years ago, we had no other options. We have options now, and we've got to take the option to be self-sovereign, or we're going to be in the same predicament we've been in. So, yes, sister, we are about you taking control and owning your own Bitcoin with no one else holding it for you. We show you how to set up wallets. We show you how to store your private keys to get in those wallets, to move your Bitcoin around the blockchain. And we also show you or direct you to those individuals that can help you put together a living a trust. And inside of that trust is not your private keys, because then that would give your attorney access to your Bitcoin. We show you how to make sure that your family can reconciliate in the event that something happens to you. And that's what we're here for. That's what our community needs. And it definitely, a lot of this stuff is 99.9% of this stuff is done online, and it makes it very difficult for our community to actually execute. And so that's why we went the brick and mortar direction.
Mm.
Wow.
And do you have Cash FX listed under the reputable companies?
Cash FX. So there's a whole, so I'm not going, so I'll just say it this way. I've not had anybody that I personally know that's had a bad experience with Cash FX. So I'm going to say that that way. There's some things, though, that I suggest folks that do have Cash FX that are making money and seeing some returns, that you at least take a little portion of that and start to, and this is my suggestion, this is what I would do, put a little portion of that towards Bitcoin on a monthly basis when you cash out. And I'm going to just make sure I take this part, because you said you're asking a little bit of questions in this line. I'm not telling anyone to go 100% into Bitcoin. Whatever you are currently doing, continue to do that. Just take a little teeny bit and start to diversify your portfolio. This is about diversification, because what if something happens with the Cash FX platform? I'm not saying it is, but I've been on a platform that is totally shut down, and when I went to log on it says this site has been seized by the FBI. And every single dime, quarter, nickel, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum I had on that site disappeared along with that. And so I paid my tuition in this space. And I don't want anybody in our community to pay any more tuition than what I paid. So just be very careful. When they allow you to take your profits, take them. I'm not saying don't reinvest, because that's what a lot of our teams are reinvesting their profits. I say get certain amount of those accounts that you reinvest, but the other ones, you need to take some profit, and you need to figure out what to do with it. And holding it in cash may not be the best bet. Right now we're sitting in the middle of a war that nobody thought would affect them. And as we see in Canada, they seized money from those people that were supporting truckers. They seized their bank accounts. They seized their cryptocurrency. They have an ability in the United States to go ahead into any of these exchanges like Binance and Kraken. And when you say the wrong thing, they can absolutely seize your Bitcoin. Same thing. But for those of us who know about self-sovereignty and how to hold it ourselves, there is no way for them to get your seed words unless you give it to them.
In your own little wallet. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is great information. So
everybody I know that actually holds it, that's been in it a while, they have their own wallet,
Right. So now
trust no one.
You would be surprised to the millions of dollars that Black folks in America are holding, specifically on Coinbase. I'm just gonna say that, which, in my opinion, that's because that's how we were introduced to the space, and that's the name everybody hears, the name everybody trusts. And they leave it there thinking that it is safe and secure, and it is 100% not.
No.
So
they've
if
had
you're
problems.
holding on these exchanges, you need to get your Bitcoin off. We also, I will say this, because they're going to ask how to get it off. You need a wallet like he's speaking about, but those wallets need to be a bona fide wallet directly from the manufacturer, or there are entities that they've allowed that are licensed and bonded to sell you one of those devices, and our company happens to be one. We're on the Ledger site. If you go to the Ledger site, you'll see our name there. But don't buy it third party, because someone can buy it, they can open it, they can get all of your seed words, which are your keys to get in to the wallet, and they can seal it up and send it to you, and you think all is good. And then 10 years down the line, which is, again, where we're looking, 5 to 10 years, they can offload all your Bitcoin because you did not buy it because you're trying to save a couple dollars. You bought it off Craigslist or Amazon. Those are the wrong places to buy it.
So, Naja, you all have your own wallet, right?
We do. We have the Black Wall Street wallet, and that is a custody wallet. So even though you buy it from us, we still are teaching you how to take it off our platform and put it into your own private wallet. That's one platform. That's the wallet. But my actual brick and mortar exchange, when you exchange your dollars for Bitcoin, we give you your Bitcoin immediately on your private wallet from day one.
It's the best way.
You never, ever have to worry about moving it from us because we give it to you from the beginning, because that's what this space is about. These other exchanges don't want to do that because they're using your Bitcoin as leverage to build their businesses.
They're doing just like the banks do then.
They are literally a bank. That's what they are. The exchanges are
so how do you think Crypto.com paid $700 million to be named over the Staples Center? Because they got a whole bunch of people that don't know any better that are leaving their Bitcoin right on their platform, and they're doing whatever they want to do with it, however they want to do with it. And then when you come to get it, then they'll figure out how to pay you back out of that $700 million they spent.
It's just like any other leverage scheme, just like banks have been doing for the last 2,000 years. Yeah.
Right. Well, what's the best wallet for people who listen who just not hearing this and they caught up in all types of plans? And we get so excited about network marketing. It's kind of funny. It's kind of it's interesting. I know one guy out here, he just hates it to the bone. Keith, you probably know who he is. Oh, he just cringe when you talk of network marketing, because he figure only a few people gonna make money and everybody else gonna think they're going to do it. But can you give us a name of wallet that a person may consider? But they can come directly to your business and buy that Bitcoin. You got Naja, their office is fabulous. They have space there. They have seminars. I mean, it is a first class.
Yeah. If you're going to be in it,
it's first class.
If you're going to be in it, you should learn. Okay, so take advantage of the classes, take advantage of the knowledge, because the last thing you want to do is, I would tell anybody, if you're going to get in it, buying and holding is cool, but the thing is, you should learn.
And most people don't. They just
learn. If you're going to hold your money, especially Bitcoin, you're going to have to put in some knowledge work. You just can't, in my opinion, you can't just let it sit. You got experts. You're going to have to, learn where it's your money, it's your investment. Learn how it moves.
Well, Naja, give us a game where they can listen to you every day. And some people, we cannot be selfish at all. Because one day I want to make sure they know where Naja is every day. You're going to announce somebody else's radio station. That somebody else is me. Sure. That somebody else is black like me. And it's about the information getting to the people. If you care about your community, I mean, what difference does it make? I hope and pray that our people would come out of that selfish attitude. It has nothing to do with my show. I want everybody to know about Tavis Smiley's show, his radio station. I'm talking it up all the time. Yeah. So tell us again, where are you every day and what time?
And I thank you for that, Dr. Rosie, because just yesterday on the radio show, I talked about this space being a space where we're able to share. So, yes, you have a product and service that is close to mine, but come on in, because this is about accessibility. So that wallet I'm talking about, Black Wall Street wallet, that's actually actor Hill Harper's brainchild. But he came to me last year and said, hey, can we partner on this wallet? I sell Bitcoin. But, yes, he sells Bitcoin. And so why would I not help our community get access? Because they're two different companies doing the same exact thing, but this is about accessibility. So that being said, I am on Tavis Smiley's radio station. It's called KBLA Talk 1580. Again, KBLA Talk 1580. You can go to your app store or your Android store. You can download the app. And you can listen live, but you can also go back and listen to the very first podcast that I did, which will help you. I think there's 8 episodes, and it'll help lead you up to understanding how and why we're in this cryptocurrency space and what it looks like for the future. And then every day I'm building on what we need to do as a Black community. specifically. I am unapologetically about the Black and brown community. How this relates to our lives, what we need to be doing, because other communities say stuff and they do something different. And I'm always telling our community, so please go download that app on your cell phone and listen in at 1 p.m. We just have so much good information. Tomorrow I will have the author on from Bitcoin and Black America. We're going to be having a real in-depth talk about how Bitcoin solves the problem in the Black community. So I'm looking forward to you all, joining in. And Dr. Rosie, I just appreciate you all the way around.
Well, I thank you, and I thank you for coming on with us today. And I'm going to put a challenge out there. For everyone out there, I know you're saving up money already for Christmas. I want to see the Black community make a difference. Don't buy a toy. Don't change. If you have a phone and you can call somebody, a cell phone, and they can call you, and you can still text and get your Facebook, please don't buy another phone. Let's buy, get some Bitcoin for your children. Because if you do it, they'll do it for their children. I think, Naja, we have to start paving the way, showing them the way, not just talking it. Because you can start at an early age, put in something for them, make some investment. And I had put out a plea once, and they said, oh, no, we can't do that. We get our tax money. We got to buy a car. I was saying to everybody, if we would just do something like simply not buying a new car for the next 2 years and look at the amount of money we'll save, because I'm telling you, we are going to be like sharecroppers if we don't find a way. It's a disgrace to talk about we having less than 1% of the wealth. I mean, we had that when we were picking cotton. We had more percentage than that out in the fields picking cotton, sharecropping. Because that's what we're doing now, basically sharecropping, because we're working for somebody else, or we letting them hold our money and they reap the benefit. Folks, it's time to come out of this poverty. I'm going to tell you something. There's no ticket to heaven because you have food stamps and welfare. I'm just saying. Back to you, Naja.
Well, thank you, Dr. Rosie. You are absolutely correct. And the bottom line to this whole thing, family, is we have got to do something different than we've done, or we're going to continue to get where we've gotten. And as Dr. Rosie said at the very beginning, ain't nobody coming for you. The mothership can't save you, as Erykah Badu says. So we got to do this for ourselves. We got to change our mindset. We have got to become savers and not spenders. We have got to become producers and not consumers. And so this is our time, ladies and gentlemen. We were born and raised and endured all that we have endured in the past for a time such as this. While these other communities are panicking about, just so many things. Just so many things happening. While people are panicking, y'all, we were made for this. It's our time. We know what history has gotten us. We know we cannot do the exact same thing. So let's do something different. Let's get together. Folks like network marketing because it is a place where they can gather, where they can have like-minded people, where they feel like they're in community. Well, there is a Black community in Bitcoin. Matter of fact, we're going on the 4th to march on Capitol Hill because they are ignoring that Black and brown people are in this space more than anyone else. And they keep talking to folks that don't look like us to ask them to save our problems, save our community. And we know what we need to do to save our community, and that's educate. And so that's why we're going there to protest and to let them know that we're in your face and we need to be heard. And, as sad as it is that I sit in Maxine Waters District, we've not even really been able to put a dent in helping them understand how to affect change in our Black and brown community. So we're looking forward to the dialogue.
Wow,
Okay.
that is wonderful. Keith, we have something on the board. I wish I could go with you guys. Hey.
Okay, this is from Jenny, and she says, what is the hard asset backing of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? The critic said it's like real currency ghosting. And it's based on market speculation only. Is this true?
So you are absolutely correct that there is nothing backing cryptocurrency. There are some cryptocurrencies that they claim are backed by gold. I would caution you not to get involved in those, while some may. some may not. And who's watching the gold? Just like your dollar is not backed by gold, there is no gold in the Federal Reserve Bank. In fact, President Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1971. So I ask you, what is backing our dollar other than war? And so when we take a look at that and when we wonder what Bitcoin specifically is backed by, I will tell you social construct. Those of us that are using it as a store of value, those of us that are using it as remittance, those of us that are using it for all sorts of different things around this world, that is what it's backed by. There is no company. She's absolutely correct.
And 2 billion people using it. And 2 billion people using it. That's where it comes from, especially a billion Chinese.
Well, and there's so many other things that are about to happen. And, you know, so my question is, you know, what is backing the dollar? What and if you look up the word fiat, F-I-A-T, in the dictionary, it will say money without any intrinsic value other than what the government says it's worth. So the government right now says that a dollar is worth a dollar. But if you go look it up online, it is not actually worth a dollar. And because they have continuously printed it endless amounts of dollars, and they still have the ability to do so, it is going to devalue itself. And the rest of the country is starting to look around. I'm saying the country, of the rest of the world is starting to look around and say, well, why are we using this if it's so much in circulation and overabundant? We can come up with our own thing. And that is what is starting to happen. And once people really start to figure out that, just like, you know, the sanctions and other things, people are like, okay, you don't want us to use your dollar? Well, we'll use something else, because now there's an option. There's never been an option before. And so that is what Bitcoin is backed by, in my opinion, is social construct.
Well, let me give my opinion. We don't have any backing. Write that down. There is no backing basically with anything. There is no backing. So just spend what you have, do what you need to do, and think outside of the box. Let's put it like that. Think outside of the box.
Just like anything else. The value of anything is based on what somebody will pay you for it. And so just anything in the world, I don't care what it is. Gold is the same way. Gold is, you know, the value of gold is based on how people value it in social construct the same way. That's all currencies. I don't care what it is, whether it's physical, whether it's digital, it's the same thing. There used to be seashells and cowrie shells. Okay, to some people it's not worth anything. To the people in that system, it's worth a lot of money. So that's why you have to look at anything that you trade for. Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not giving any more gift to anybody, birthday or anything. They're going to get cryptocurrency. They're going to get Bitcoin. God dog it. I ain't giving up nothing else. But the fact I think I'll pay my tithe with Bitcoin. So if you can't accept them, I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, they can.
Is
they
Bitcoin the only thing? Is the only one you work with? Or do you work with Ethereum and XRP or Ripple?
Well, let me tell you. Let me just say to you, I can work with anything, but it is like, for me, it's like me saying that I'm feeding my community crack. Okay. So I'm going to stay away from selling my community crack and sell them what I know is going to last them when it actually matters. Okay. So with that being said, I've decided not to put myself in the line of fire when our community comes back and says, but you told me that this Ethereum thing was going to do. No, I didn't. I'm telling you Bitcoin is, and I'm telling you Ethereum has some issues, and there are people diligently trying to figure out a way to oust Ethereum and make something better than Ethereum, something better than it. But anyway, we won't get into that. So I'm only selling my community what I know is tried and true. And I will say this, and black. So if you got a black coin, and we've done some tokenomics, and we understand what you're trying to do, like recycle black dollars, then I can rock with you. So there goes the guap coin and the vibranium and all the black coins that are out there. I will rock with those. But I tell you, I am unapologetically making sure that our folks are getting the right stuff and not the poison.
Okay, now this show is going to re-air at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 Eastern Standard Time. So you all need to call your relatives, your friends, and have all of them to go to innerlightradio.com and listen to the show as it is repeated. Now, you mentioned that you all are going to open a Bitcoin brick and mortar across this country, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have in the plan.
Okay, do you know about what it would cost to open up one?
Well, what I'm doing,
I'm looking at Bakersfield, where my children are.
In Bakersfield. So what we're looking at doing right now, Dr. Rosie, is we have the blueprint in Inglewood, and so we found locations all across the U.S. in different cities, and so and this is we fought to have the name the Bitcoin Bank because we're not a federally chartered bank in the United States. Mm-hmm. And we won. And so we are calling ourselves the Bitcoin Bank. That just happened at the end of. And so these Bitcoin banks are going to sit in locations, the major cities first, off to places like Bakersfield and some of the off cities later. But the first 41, and we're doing it where the community owns it. So if the community in that area is interested in coming in and getting one in their location, they just need to reach out to us. We're buying our buildings because we need to gentrify our own spaces.
Go ahead
and make it as beautiful as the one we have in Inglewood. It has to be up to par. And then our community is owning them, and our community is benefiting from the services and things that happen in those specific places. So if you're interested, please reach out to us. We can put you on the list for our Bitcoin banks, and that's what we're doing.
Wow. And you guys, let me remind you, I get so caught up in what we're doing. Don't forget, you guys, when you leave home each day, you expect to return. But if not, is your personal and business affairs in order? If you own property, I don't care how small or whatever, you need to get a living trust. If you're 18 years old, you need a power of attorney. That's part of the economic bleed. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have a living trust, you lose thousands of dollars in probate. That's part of the economic hemorrhage.
And you got to leave your Bitcoin keys to somebody. So that's part of the trust.
That's right. And if you don't have a power of attorney, you end up in probate court having someone to become your conservator. That's $3,000 or $4,000. That's part of the economic hemorrhage, you guys. We got to stop this economic hemorrhage. We talk about gentrification as people are losing housing, all of that. Gentrification is real, but write this down. I have a new word called foolification. Foolification. That's people being foolish and not doing what they're supposed to do to pass down wealth. Do not leave your children in the basement. Now do you want to give us some parting words? I'm really excited because I'm telling you, I'm really thinking because everybody is excited about network marketing, bringing people into their downline. I am rethinking. I mean, I'm not telling nobody what to do, but sometimes you have to go for yourself because you don't want anybody coming back to you when things go wrong, particularly if you have built a stellar reputation for yourself. So now let's talk about that.
Yes, ma'am. So I have to just be honest with you. There are some fabulous opportunities out there that we see people working in making money. But I have had to, and I love network marketing. Let me say that first before I say what I'm about to say. I absolutely love network marketing because I love my people. I love to see people making money. I love to see people building their character, who they are, what they stand for, just being confident about themselves. But in this space, I have decided after my first and second burn, and I'm going to say that, that I would not put my name to another thing. And I will tell you, I've held on to that since 2017 because I've taken 2 burns before 2017. Mm-hmm. And I'm not kidding to you. God is my witness. Last December, I decided, you know what? Let me just go ahead and try one more of these. It seems pretty reputable, and God is my witness. It wasn't 3 days before myself and a couple of my cousins just this December lost about $4,000. The site closed up, never to be found again, and I was left responsible for paying back that money to them because I got them involved in it, and that's how I roll. So I just have put myself back in where I was going to be, where I've been, and saying no to every single thing because at the end of the day, it's me, it's my character, and me. I'm going to pay it back, whether it was your money or mine, because I got you involved in it. And so that's just honest to God truth. It just happened in December, and it won't happen again. So that's where I'm at.
Got it. Let's take a call. We have a caller, 323-665. Go ahead, caller. We got a few minutes.
Whoa.
Real quick.
Okay,
caller.
didn't know that I was connected. Thank you. And I was actually trying to tune in for the cryptocurrency, but I think I'm way late. I confused the 10 o'clock hour with the 11 o'clock.
Okay.
It's going to replay at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go to Innerlight, INNER, InnerlightRadio.com.
We got about 2 or 3 minutes for a quick. We got 2 or 3 minutes for a quick question. You got a quick question that you want to ask?
I don't, because I tuned in just now thinking it was 11 o'clock. My apology.
Okay.
Well, you can.
Pamela McGee does.
Okay.
Okay, so your recommendation is that, because I have an Edge wallet, that we don't leave it in the wallet?
Edge wallet, I rock with Edge wallet 100%. You have your private keys. You have to go into the security settings, and you have to set up so that you have extra things in place. But Edge wallet is a wallet that allows you to have
been around a while.
That's what I call a warm wallet. Halfway online, halfway offline. That's similar to the Black Wall Street wallet. But, yes, I definitely rock with Edge, and I will tell you they are supporters of the black community from day one. They actually give me Bitcoin to give to the black community to introduce them to Bitcoin. That's what Edge does.
Yeah, Edge has been around a while. They're one of the OGs in this space.
Okay.
So when I take my money from the Cash FX and I put it over to Edge Wallet, so I just let it sit there?
Yeah. Yeah, unless you have a reason to move it.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, do not lose the keys. Do not lose the keys. Make sure that you have,
and that you're not the only somebody know what's going on. That's what I'm afraid of, Keith. A lot of people.
Me too.
There's a story every year about people that bought Bitcoin years ago, right? Had it on a device, okay, and lost the device, and they got like $30 million worth of Bitcoin sitting on it. So whatever your wallet is, take care of it, because take care of it like it's cash.
Does it have to be on your phone?
Well, the thing is, is that the only way to access the Bitcoin is through your keys. Your keys are the most important thing. And if you lose access, and those keys have long strings. So if you lose, and most people don't have memories that actually memorize their keys like that. So if you lose your device, and your device has your keys on it, there's nobody in the world can.
But where should the keys be other than your device? Now, that's an important thing, because people lose phones, people steal phones.
Well, the thing is that in essence, your keys, the thing is you want to make sure they're secure. Your keys are just numbers, okay? And the thing is, there are ways to back up your keys, okay? The thing is that it's like anything else, it should exist. It should exist in more than one place. Some people were kind of careless, I don't care about it, because they didn't think it would be anything, right? And it blew up, and the device they had the keys on don't have it. Now they're trying to find people who can actually access the device and find their keys, which is. So
let me just kind of just say this really quickly, because keys can be a long string of numbers, but it can also be words, 24 or 44, 24, 12 or 24 words. And so we teach everybody how to secure those words and those private keys. So if you lose your cell phone, you still have access to the blockchain, because your Bitcoin is not stored on that cell phone. It's stored on the blockchain, which is the technology. And those seed words and keys are just unlock it. So you can there's other devices called like a ledger device. If you lose the ledger, you don't lose access to your Bitcoin as long as you have those seed words. And so we want to make sure that everyone is understanding that as well.
Okay, Nada, you're going to have to do a Zoom class for me on that part, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, we're going to have to do a Zoom call about the ledger
in other words,
and how not to lose
your
that kind of stuff.
your keys are like the keys to the kingdom, right? And I can't, I'm sure Naja will tell you exactly how important those keys actually are. Okay, you got if you're gonna have it, you're gonna do this. Don't get careless with your keys, because a lot of people don't treat it like money because it's not physical, right? Because you can't
Keith,
see it, right?
Just like
And
the safe.
It is. It's like a safety deposit key, right?
And guess what happened? A lot of people in safe deposit box, when they die, nobody know where the key is.
Keys
okay,
are. Yeah.
People go home with the trust. They don't make a copy and give to anyone. When they die, nobody can find the trust. Now they're in probate. Folks, let me say this. You got to start keeping stuff that's important, and you got to be able to trust somebody. Somebody ought to know what you know. I'm just going to put it out there. You should not be the only someone that have access to certain information. You ought to be able to trust somebody. If you can't find anybody to trust, call me. I'm just kidding. Don't call me.
I mean, that's, some of that stuff is down the line, but the thing is that I'm sure Naja, she tells anybody that's associated with Bitcoin, I'm sure that's the first thing she schools them on, the ins and outs of it. And the first two things is how to invest, and the second thing is your keys, how to secure them, and how to make sure that you can access them, that they're backed up somewhere. Because because I can't tell you how many. I'm sure Naja can tell you. It happens at least once a year. Some guy that has a whole bunch of money in Bitcoin loses their keys, and then they're running around trying to find somebody that can unlock that Bitcoin.
I know, Naja, you're very busy, but if you will promise me that if I set up a Zoom meeting just for basic, I'm concerned. These are basic things that our community need to know. I don't want them to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do this," and they end up in certain situations. So would you please, James Brown, please,
yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am. And that's what I do. I do it for church families. I do it for people's families. That is what we are doing. We are educating our community one family at a time. So reach out to me on social media. I can set something up. Not you. Definitely yes. I'm just saying for anybody else that's listening, they can reach out on social media, and we'll schedule a time to do an hour Zoom for their community, for their family, just to get them up to speed so everybody can understand what's going on and get started.
And where can we find you on social media?
I am Naja Roberts on everything. No underscores, no dots, nothing in between. Just NAJAHROBERTS. Naja Roberts.
And tell them where he can find you every day. Monday to Friday.
Every day.
Where's the block and chain? Give them where they can come and buy some Bitcoin. That's what
that's
they
true.
want to know.
That's true. But I'm saying, on the radio program,
Yeah, the radio program is probably the easiest. So download on your cell phone, go in the App Store or the Google Store and get KBLA 1580, Talk 1580, KBLA Talk 1580. And you can download that app, and I teach every day at 1 o'clock. And then there's also podcasts, past podcasts. Start from day one, and that'll walk you up through the evolution of money. You just heard the brother talking about cowrie shells and all that. I explained all of that. Walking up through
you need to read David Graeber's book, Debt the First 5,000 Years. Best book on trading, currency, and debt that you can ever read.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
I want all of those who are listening. When you're listening, all those who are listening, I want you to call me. Hit me up when you go over in Inglewood and buy your Bitcoin. Then I know you listen, because you know what? I'm not going to sit on this talk show year after year, wasting my energy and air from my lungs and don't see any results. If you're listening, show me that you're listening. I want you to call me and say, Doc, I got mine. Okay.
And if you can't do that, Dr. Rosie has a YouTube channel that you need to support that gets all the replays. And if you can't hit her up on the phone, hit her up in the comment section on our YouTube channel and like and subscribe to the video.
And my number is 323-750-3592. 323-750-3592. If you don't have your living trust, your will, everything in order, folks, don't delay it. Naja, every time I think about all of the people who died during COVID-19, my people who had money in safe deposit box, their family didn't know they had it. All the state of California is going to be gloomy with money because nobody knew what they had. Folks, come on, stop all this secrecy.
Yes, ma'am. All by design. I will tell you, they didn't want to pay out all that Social Security. It was just a whole bunch of stuff happening. So y'all know this is all by design. So we gotta take action. So yep, you're absolutely correct.
Well, Naja, again, I want to thank you. I know how busy you are, but taking time to come on my show, I highly appreciate you. And like I said, I want everybody to do what you need to do. And I'm not going to say just go buy you some Bitcoin. No. Go to the blockchain in Inglewood, crypto blockchain plug located in Inglewood. That's why you buy your Bitcoin. I'm not saying just go, girl, it don't matter what. Yes, it does. It matters. Everything matters now when it comes to us. So do the right thing and holler, hit me up and say, hey, doc, I got mine, okay? And
we appreciate you. And anytime, Dr. Rosie, anytime. You just let me know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're off. You guys have a great day. And I'll be listening to you at 1 o'clock today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you much. You have a good one yourself.
You too. Thanks again.
Thank you, Invisible Man. I'm looking for that NFT.
Thank you.
I support my folks.
All right.